Hello and welcome back to the Agritech Innovation Summit of Food Tech Congress 2021. We hope you had enough time to grab a cup of coffee or take a rest or network with other entities. And now let's continue with our great agenda. Now we are going to explore gaining visibility into grower operations for more predictable and sustainable supply chain. For that, please welcome Amit Noam, the CEO at Agritest Ltd. Hello and welcome.
Thank you so much, and it's a pleasure to be here. I'll start by saying that my name is Amit. I'm the CEO of Agritest. Agritest took the challenge upon itself to help food and beverage companies to bridge the gap of building predictable and sustainable supply chains in the agri-food ecosystem. We'll talk today a bit about the challenges of how food and beverage companies are trying to attack this challenge and see how we're able to help them overcome these challenges in this field. I'll start by saying that agriculture, as we all know, is the largest and maybe the last industry that is yet to be digitalized. There's huge implications of the fact that we have that this industry is not yet digitalized, with a lot of yield losses, of near farm waste. Over 85% of the growers worldwide today don't have agriculture insurance. And this is causing a huge impact on the supply of food worldwide. And today, the industry lacks the visibility and the means to support these farmers, to provide them the know-how, to provide them the resources, to provide them the risk mitigation that is needed in order to improve these numbers. Now, the food and beverage industry and many of the supply chains are taking upon themselves the challenge of helping these growers, helping the ecosystem to improve the practices. At the end of the day, the food and beverages have the will, have the resources, they have the agronomic know-how, but they lack the ability to really support and give this value to the growers. And when we talk about the challenges in doing so, I want to talk about three main challenges. The first one is that the food and beverage companies in many of the cases are very disconnected from the growers. So they don't have the visibility into what's going on in the grower operations. They don't have the ways and the means to communicate with the farmers and give them the advice, give them the needed in order to support their operations. On the other side, the lack of visibility into what's going on results in the fact that the supply that they're supposed to get is very unpredictable. At the end of the day, they need to know how much yield and how much quality they're going to get at the end of the season in order to optimize their entire supply chain. And this brings a lot of challenges in forecasting and monitoring yields that are supposed to come. And it causes variations in supply times and quality, which makes it very difficult to understand and plan the rest of the supply chain. And the last thing is that they have huge pressure to perform sustainable practices to make sure that we're growing in a sustainable way that is good for the environment, paying fair market value wages to these growers. And today they have a lack of ability to enforce and monitor these sustainable practices, but also in order to ensure food safety, they need to have the traceability from the farm to the factory in order to understand what's going on, in order to make sure that they meet their sustainability KPIs. And this results in many of the cases in insufficient yield, quality, and quantity, because we're not able to support our farmers to be able to make the optimal use of their land. It generates supplies, shortages, and delays that we're not ready for and where we cannot predict them. And this causes problems with later on the supply chain. And at the end of the day, the reputational risk for these companies is very big, because they really have the will, they have the targets to drive these sustainable practices, these certifications to make sure that everybody's growing according to the way we're supposed to grow, but they don't have the ability to enforce it and make sure that it's actually going on. And this causes a huge reputational risk that can occur. Now, what Agritest does, Agritest offers a comprehensive enterprise-scale agronomic intelligence platform for decision-making that is supposed to connect the food and beverage organizations with their growers and give the food and beverage companies, one, the ability to support the growers and implement best practices, but on the other side, give them visibility into their entire supply chain in order to be able to optimize it. Support huge food and beverage companies on one side, but also on a very large scale of farmers. So if a food and beverage company works with hundreds of thousands of farmers, we're able to support that in the system. The second thing is the idea is to provide agronomic intelligence, to be able to collect all the data, to have all the visibility, to be able to support the growers, give insights, implement agronomic models that will support all these growers. We're very, very industry focused. So we're focusing on the food and beverage companies and their challenges and their connection to their growers. And by that, we're looking for a way how we can really tackle these challenges, how we can really connect the food and beverage companies to the growers that until now have been quite distanced one from the other. And at the end of the day, we have sustainability in mind always to how to support everything around regenerative agriculture, carbon calculation, cost of production, sustainability certification, but how we can work in order to make sure all the operations goes in a much more sustainable way. How our platform works, it works on three main layers. The first layer is you need to capture all the data. And in order to capture all the data, you need to get all the different types of data into a single database. And the data comes from the scouts on the field that use the mobile application to collect data. It can come from remote sensing, from satellites, from drones, from virtual weather station. And it can come also from any technology that is already on the field or bringing information from the field. Agritest has done until today over 70 integrations with sensors, machinery companies, even ERP systems of our clients in order to be able to collect and connect all the data together. Now, the data collection is the complex part, but it's not where the value is created. The value is created by being able to take all that data, make sense of the data, put it in a structured layered database, and then being able to do all this cross-data analysis to be able to ensure that we're able to provide the right decision in the right time to the growers in order to support the operations. And of course, the output can be through dashboards, through insights, through alerts, recommendations, whatever needed in order to support the operations. Now, what's unique about our solution is the configurations manager enables us to really tailor the solution to specific supply chains, to specific crops, to specific workflows of our customers, because we understand that there's huge variety in the way different companies are working in different supply chains, and the system has the flexibility to adopt to the different practices in order to support individual operations. In terms of the solutions that we bring to the industry, so we divided it to the support we provide food and beverage companies to support their growers. And this is all around the farming practices, what we call Agritest Farming Essentials, to support the farmers with managing their pest and disease and their water and their soil fertilization, and to help them implement best practices. In addition to that, there are all these additional tools we provide the companies in order to help them manage the traceability from the farm to the factory, manage all the certification processes and the ESG practices and KPIs that they're supposed to meet. Things they manage their post-harvest activities through our system, but we give them a full suite of solution to manage their entire supply chain and connection between the supply chain and the field. In terms of just to break down, go down deep a bit into each one of these components and then give a few examples. When we talk about farming optimization, the idea is to be able to engage growers, the agronomists of the food and beverage companies can engage the growers, can gain visibility into the farming operations, and through that visibility, they can give recommendations. They can collaborate with the farmers to provide best practices and production guidelines, protocols that are suited for that crop. They can monitor the adherence to the guidelines and plan throughout the season what kind of support we need to give to each one of the growers, and in some cases, what resources do we need to provide them. And at the end of the day, that gives them also the ability to estimate the yield and quality to better manage their suppliers and understand the performance of the different suppliers. When we talk about what we call Agritest Pro to provide supply chain predictability, here you see the ability to really use a lot of data, both data coming from the field, including remote sensing and additional models that we build in order to provide predictability to the supply chain. And this includes yield forecasting and monitoring, provide alerts on variations in supply time and quality to understand if I anticipate a problem throughout in the end of the season, to have visibility to the harvest in order to plan all the receiving and processing in the plant, segregate batches according to quality and be able to trace the origin and the certification of each one of everything coming to my factory. And at the end of the day, provide on one side predictability, but on the other side also traceability to the origin of everything that I later manufacture or later process to bring to the market. And in terms of what we call Agritest Impact, this is the ability to implement sustainability practices, which is around ESG certification, agriculture practices. The idea is how you help generate positive impact, if it's reducing carbon, if it's reducing the use of chemicals or fertilizers or other things, but this includes to set and enforce, monitor sustainability KPIs. A lot of the companies now are building their 2025, 2030 plans, putting the sustainability KPIs, putting the long-term goals. And at the end of the day, they need the system to be able to manage that and enforce that and make sure that they're meeting this. Manage large-scale certification processes. So we work with all the big certification processes, and you can monitor all the certification processes and get all the dashboards and the information there through the system. Implement carbon footprint programs, run ESG compliance audits for your growers, and so on, in order to help make sure that we're implementing sustainability practices across the entire ecosystem. Just to dive into two examples, this is a client of ours that's a client for the past 4 years. It's a large agriculture buyer that estimation, and they also manage all the post-harvest activities in the system. There are multiple user groups, so the company is using the system, the consultants are using the system, the growers are using the system, and at the end of the day, all the users together generate a view that everybody can see all the data, and you can make sense of all the data together. In terms of outcomes, today 100% of grower adoption of the platform, all the growers of this company are using the system. They achieved 8% yield increase in the first year just by being able to understand and anticipate problems early on and being able to support it and give a solution. They implemented a fully functional yield estimation model that they manage, and they already improved twice throughout the years based on the data and the remodeling that we do. And all their post-harvest process is fully integrated in the system, giving them full farm to factory traceability. What you see here on the screenshots is yield estimation and plot scoring by each grower. And of course, in order to be able to bring that view, you need to have a lot of data throughout the process in order to give this full view. Another example is another company that we've been working on. First of all, to provide digital tools for farmers to document farm inputs, use, cost, establishing baseline for agroeconomics. Later on, we provided also soil fertility support that we provide today in 5 countries. But here also the outcome, we provided full visibility of the cost of production per country, per variety, per supplier. We implemented a farmers support and consultancy program, and we're providing soil and foliar recommendations to thousands of growers worldwide through this company. And you see here, they are able to see the dashboard, they're able to see what is the situation in each country, in each area, and so on. Just finalizing, we work today with different large-scale enterprises, both in the food and beverage area and in the large agriculture ecosystem in large, supporting these with their work with many small growers. In terms of impact, we're today directly impacting 300,000 smallholders. We are certified, we provide certifications of different certification groups. We were recognized in different initiatives and different prizes. And I want to thank you everybody for listening. I tried to meet the 15 minutes I have, and I'll be happy if anybody would like to collaborate to speak to you guys offline.
So thank you very much, Amit, for your presentation. And for what I've heard from our previous panel and what you've presented, data analysis, data insights seem like a mainstream right now, and each farmer must have for more sustainable and efficient goals. So do you find it difficult to sell your product in the market, or there is a line of farmers and companies lining up to partner with you?
I would like to answer this from 2 different angles. First, we really believe in partnership because the idea is that no single technology can provide a solution alone to reach all the different requirements of all the customers. We build a very open platform to be able to support, to integrate and partner with different technologies. As I said, we've done over 70 integrations until now with a lot of companies, and the idea is we believe that the right way to approach this market is through partnerships. In terms of the client side, I think there's more and more openness for clients to adopt these technologies because they understand, first of all, that the data that they need to have in order to enforce and support the growers and meet their sustainability goals is just going to increase. And today we see the market moving more and more into that direction, and more openness by both the food and beverage companies, the suppliers, and the farmers to adopt these technologies.
Great. It's great to see that you have partnerships all around the supply chain, and it's great to see the good work done on the market. So best of luck for you guys.